fights for Liquid, and suddenly we're not playing Dota anymore. We're just playing walkover games.
Yeah.
But instead, Liquid do pull it together. They finally pick up another kill on Black. TC has had hard. He's been part of 10 of 18 kills, which does mean that he's not doing quite as badly as you'd expect a Phantom Lancer who only has 32 last hits at this point to be doing.
Yeah. The one thing I really feel bad for about Liquid in this situation, they drafted this Night Stalker to be a force of reckoning, to be able to move about the map, to get good cripples off, to gank hardcore. We see now that day has struck, he's running on 345 movement speed, only just now picking up his treads. Those will be quarried up to him in a moment, but right now he's literally the day walker. He's just strolling on along. He will be able to creep kill, but he's not going to be able to contribute, even with this engagement that's forthcoming on bottom. Black looking for an opportunity, will be able to avoid that Illuminate. Looking for Mike here. He has faith in Drum, but he doesn't want to go too far. Instead, we'll just put pressure out on this tier 1 in a short moment. But yeah, this is where Korok is making a minimal impact. He's died multiple times over. He's dying as much as he's putting damage pressure out. So 3, 5, and 4 Night Stalker during the daytime. Rank 1 ulti is now available, but, you know, it's only going to accomplish so much here, even with a rank 4 Hunter in the Night. Either way, creep skipping it up, this tier 1, as I said, is going to be pressured very, very hard.
Yeah, I mean, when your Night Stalker is contributing substantially less to team fights than your Phantom Lancer, you're not feeling tremendously good about your position. And Mao's taking this tier 1 tower. It's less even about the gold, although they do get the gold on Lifestealer, which is great. And more, again, when you're Dire fighting up against PL, it's critical that you make sure that the safety of this Radiant jungle is reduced. And that's exactly what Maos are doing here. They're planting wards, they're taking the tower, and just making it so TC has to be a little nervous about just how many camps he goes for.
Yeah, Black is going to be moving towards that armlet, but using that race car Lifestealer build is able to close in on Fluff. The Rage comes out the other way around, dispelling the open wounds, and now Lockhawker looking for a hook, finds it out with those cogs, with the cripple.
Nice.
Black can't do anything here. He's actually fully picked off. I'm not sure about this darkness usage, but they have the double damage. They want to make sure there is nothing coming for them in this situation here.
It was to dissuade Poss and Alex from just running in there. They probably wouldn't anyway, just because Black was going down extremely quickly. I can't say enough good things about Bulba's play this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Not only did he get the hook, he timed it to instantaneously land after Rage went down. And that's exactly what it did, which meant, I mean, so it would stun either way. But it was just like that extra little bit of damage is what we need. And honestly, it's excellent play. This Clockwork is completely carrying them right now.
Sure. We do see Puck teleporting in towards the mid lane, trying to put pressure out here, but that Ice Blast going wide. It's just going to be Puck doing solo damage, and Korok just TPs on out. Really good usage of TP, and not able to be avoided, not able to really have to worry about anything. Now, he did have a Blink Dagger. He did pick that up about a minute and a half ago, so he has a lot of presence, and we can definitely see what he can do based on our game 2, what he was able to accomplish with that Blink Puck. But now he's up against a whole nother ball game. He's up against a Night Stalker with that long range cripple. We actually see Infest Next Bomb on Fluff. He does pop Rage, he gets the TP. He will get out of here despite the right clicks. Perfect usage of Rage TP. Exactly the only thing that he could have done to get out of that situation, and really
Almost
good
gonna get Alex. Sorry, I just had my camera focused on this because I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh, wow, yeah. So, Alex, not in a good spot. The hook shot does come on through from Bulba, and yeah, now he's about to finish up, or what would that be? Either a Necro or a Force Staff. Probably Force Staff.
Probably Force Staff.
That's what Bulba has run previously for most of his Clockwork games there, so.
It's gonna be Force Staff. TL, I think, actually really wanted this tier 1 bot because this would sort of counteract the sort of relative danger of this jungle, but it's okay to not have it. Bulba's actually smoked in the back here. They're gonna charge Black.
Onto Black, he has no idea, and without any Infest, I mean, those cogs just right-click away. No magic damage taken, but his piece is not going to do enough. There's 4 people right-clicking you down, and the Ice Blast might land true, will hit onto Bulba at least. It's still not going to stop the push that comes on forward for this tier 1 top, which might kind of nullify the issue that we were talking about previously. Korok caught out kind of in much the same way that happened with the Lifestealer up on top, but Lifestealer obviously being a much more crucial kill than that of the Night Stalker in this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, just look at the levels. Korok, okay, he's been kind of just getting eaten repeatedly, but he's level 11. Black is actually only level 9, and he's quite a bit behind TC at this point, not to mention behind the rest of the team. I mean, Korok at this point, Liquid are already taking measures to sort of just impute the fact that Night Stalker is just sort of a walking silence. Like I said at the beginning, almost the main reason they had the Night Stalker here is to have that guaranteed long-duration silence. And frankly, you can have that and the high nuke damage of the slow, even without him really getting much else. So obviously they'd like for Korok to have a more dominant game, but his game has been just good enough that he's not a serious liability. Sure. Like, okay, he died in the day, but you traded off a tower and a kill on the carry for that. Like, you're fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting way to look at it there. I mean, definitely, if he doesn't have the physical damage to back it up, he still is providing what they drafted him for. So I think that's, yeah, true. He's not a liability. But obviously he wants to try to get out of the gutter and try to pursue on other different things. I mean, he's going to be going up against the Shadowblade Nature's Prophet, so where Night Stalker is usually a great gem carrier, I'm not so sure at this point in time. Now, Korok actually just getting initiated on a little bit cheeky play by Fata as he pushes him back, doing some harassment damage, and it's just got to be frustrating not to be able to respond to those kind of things.
Not being able to respond to the gross provocation of this puck. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, Blaze. Definitely he'd feel better if this Night Stalker were a little more dominant. He could just pop darkness and get kills. Obviously, you do take this hero for the sort of snowballing potential that he presents. But like I said, TL haven't really put together like that dominant of a mid performance in this game, and I think they knew they wouldn't, and that's why they sort of drafted around it. Fata is an excellent mid. He's been developing his skill extremely quickly, in my opinion. Really growing to one of the best ones in Europe, so it's going to be tough to just win so hard against Fata on one of his best heroes. You sort of have to just work around it. And they're trying to do that. I mean, they gave Bulba this hero that he's good with that can generate big plays even in the absence of Night Stalker.
Yeah. So next bomb queued up for Koikoi. He also has Dust. They really want to see TC out of his jungle. They want to see him on the lane and immediately punish him for it. But right now, TC is happy to be in the jungle. He's got so many illusions to work with here, picking up his diffusive blade, and there's nothing to really stop him. So Koikoi still has the next bomb, but again, that means that the lifesteal isn't farming for right now. The Rocket Flare comes on out, and they have to actually go for a fight here now or never, because again, every single second taking away is less and less GPM for this lifestealer.
He doesn't even have armlet, Blaze. I mean, this is a serious problem.
Now we do see TPing on in. The puck has friggin' BOTs going on for a big drinkle onto 3 here. Waning Rift only going to hit onto Fluff, though. There is going to be an Ice Blast hitting out on Ike's Michael. The mechanism is already out. He still drops due to the shatter. Big Wrath of Nature going across. Black is up in the action, but gets cogged and telekinesis back. And I think they'll be able to get out without any more casualties, but they did lose Korok in the northern end of that as well. TPing on through. Bulba is silenced up. He actually is going to get sprouted on through. He doesn't have Force Staff, and he is going to die as well. So that was good usage of Koikoi. It's a short-range TP, but it's what they needed to lock him in place there. And unfortunately, Liquid just doesn't have too much to bring down those trees.
I still feel like I keep saying this because it keeps happening, but just Liquid's position at the beginning of these team fights is just always not what I'd like to see. What was Korok doing walking this way when the entire rest of his team was retreating this way? I don't, it's not clear to me what the point of that was. And then he just sort of stays in to try to pop up the silence on Nature's Prophet when it's, I don't know, it's obviously more clear to us that the Nature's Prophet is carrying a Nyx payload than it is to the players who sort of can't, they obviously can't see that there's a lifestealer inside there. But it's just, it's such a dangerous position for him to be in. And I said that, well, Night Stalker isn't that much of a liability, but if you're about to 5v5 and he just drops for free, that's not really the case. Like, I don't know. Both teams still have a very good chance of winning. Like, Fata is frankly huge. I mean, Boots of Travel, Blink Dagger, this is the big plays puck. He wants to go for winning every fight on his back. And Black is just, this is some of the least developed play we've ever seen on Lifestealer from Black, like in terms of item development. Still does not have Armlet. He just has it brought to him right now at 21 minutes. Usually when a Lifestealer gets Armlet this late, we're like, oh yeah, they basically lost. But in this case, just because the rest of the team is executing so well and they're catching Liquid out in these team fights, that's not been the case.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. In this position, no real there is the engagement on Ike's Mike who will be picked off, but I'm not sure about Retaliation. situation. Nice mechanism, and using the blinding light, he still will drop down to black, but puts him in a weird spot. These cogs really breaking apart the team fight, and black will be dropped down. Too much damage going out. I cannot rage even if he wanted to, even if he had the cooldown back up. Now looking for an ultimate hookshot. Bulba, come on, do it. No, the Shadow Blade coming on out. Oh, he goes instead for PAS, picks him off, or Alex picks him up very nicely. So he does get somebody on out of it, and that's a nice play there. I was hoping for the profit, but of course the Shadow Blade did go on through there, so only so much that can be accomplished. But they're gonna move in, and do you think they can put some damage in the tier 2, or they're just gonna fall back?
They can put damage into the tier 2 because TC is here and he's got Diffusal. I think they're okay. The problem is, somebody's gonna have to deal with this tier 3.
Coming on in. No, just doing his cheeky play again. No,
just check it out. Because, they're actually gonna cop quite a bit of tier 3 damage.
Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast, just respawned. Probably gonna be sending it out in just a moment. No, still has yet to cast it. So I guess they're just gonna get out scot-free, but, yeah.
If it were level 2, maybe you could score a kill, but because you can't, it's not worth casting.
Sure. I mean, it's short cooldown, though. I mean, it's a pretty interesting spell. Combining this with the Wrath of Nature, you have a lot of AoE damage potential that can bring down anybody that you really have good vision on, if they're at a low HP level. Of course, on top of that, we've seen the next bombs in action, so combining these together, they have a lot of upfront burst, but the mechanisms have been really great for Mike's Mike. Every single time he sees it coming, he gets the mech off first, oftentimes his magic wand as well. And so, even though people get hit by it, the fact that it nullifies healing hasn't been much of a factor here.
Are they going to let this Roshan go? No, they are going to go for it, but they might be a bit late. Yeah. Now it's actually killing this Rosh remarkably quickly, considering I don't see any armor redux.
Killing Touch was used once, so that does add in.
Oh, yeah.
A little burst, even if it's... Oh, here we go. But Bulba jumping on in. The Aegis will go to the lifesteal, but blinding light off on cliff. Left track falls. Quakewa just trying to hide out and try to avoid everything that's going on here. Bulba taking a lot of hits and probably will die to the Shatter Effect. Indeed, will. Black still up on his first life, duking that with Korok, but he's up in a 1v3 here, and Blinding Light will be back up in 5 seconds. Here comes on Fadva trying to turn this around. Nice silence going across. He does also have double damage, but it's about to expire. Cleaning up, Keep Light will fall, and now Koikwa caught in with Bulba with adding his action. They have to change targets. Going on to the puck, he is crippled up, he is diffused up, he will take a fall, and Black, the last man visibly standing, and he's going to be just walking on out of there as fast as he possibly can. Bulba with a nice Force Staff, looking for the cog, Diffusal to catch him on in, he's stuck, he drops. I'm amazed that he didn't just go for the Rage TP. Didn't think he needed it, but beautiful Force Staff coming out of Bulba, locks him on in.
Actually, Fata might clean this up a little bit. Nope, he can't. There's just too much.
Koikwa looking for a couple of easy right clicks with the Shadow Blade, but TC is right nearby. So Risky gets the one shot and just going to try to TP on away. Doesn't get the opportunity, though. Too much burst damage. One more juxtaposed proc. He just needed one more proc. Got the last right kick from the illusion, and Pod's even too far in over his head. Fata jumps on in to bring down Korok, but is just jumping all about here. We see the pickoff on pause, and Fata's pretty much all by himself here. Blink Dagger available in 3 seconds, and he's such a slippery fellow that I think he can still survive on out of this, but it's difficult with that mana leak. I don't know, he has Magic Wand and BOTs, but here comes Bulba. Hook shot available, he just needs vision, and these creeps will provide it. Blinking on out, he's going to go for a hook shot, come on! No! He actually goes southeast, and actually a little bit delayed as well. So not going to happen there, but big plays can't happen every time, and in this situation here, we're just going to see Fata jumping all about, as I said before, and yeah, he's going to be just able to outmaneuver Liquid. Nevertheless, the Liquid taking so much of that fight. They lose the Roche, they lose the Aegis, and still, they just completely destroy everything else after the fact.
No, big win for Liquid. The thing is here, there's a player on each team generating enormous opportunities for his team to actually win a fight. And that's Fata on Mouse, and it's Boba on Liquid. Right now the game is all about how good of a fight can these guys generate. And then, well, actually, sorry, that's half of it. The other half is how can they follow up on the great fights that these guys are generating. And right now, Mouse can't really follow up. Sorry, Black did get a few levels from that, finally, but he's still just not dealing the damage. He doesn't have the damage to follow up Fata's initiations. And Fata himself is not going to bring 3 people down, because this is a fairly tanky Liquid team. PL is not trivial to kill. Night Stalker, even with this sort of leveling, is not trivial to kill. And Clockwork's no slouch either. So it's just that even when Mao's, I think, get the better of an early part of an engagement, like, there was an excellent Waning Rift in that fight. Like, 2 actually excellent Waning Rifts. But the problem was Black, even with an Aegis, couldn't really just make enough happen on top of it.
Yeah, it almost seems like a Furion could have picked up the Aegis and done more with it. He has a lot of right-click damage comparatively, but you look at Black CS, this is not a game where Black